dedicated Tesla fanboy, I predict Tesla will sooner or later stop making EVs, so I went out and bought some more Tesla stock. Am I mad? I'm Dave, welcome to Dave Takes It On. Am I rich or mad? Well, in fact, neither, just a sensible individual who analyses the business world, tries to see what's likely to happen. First, I'm not a professional investor, not rich. This video is not for investment advice, get that for yourself. But this is a look at what might happen to Tesla in the next 5 years based on my investigations and analysis. Okay, first, I'm not rich. Tesla shares are currently $250, about £200. You can buy part shares, so anyone with £50 or £100 can buy stock. You don't need to be rich, and you don't need to buy Tesla shares. There are millions of other companies out there. So, Tesla to stop making cars. Is that a serious prediction? Well, yes, it is, very much so. But to find out why, you need to look at why Elon Musk invested his money in a small fledgling EV company with no products way back in 2004. He saw a future that aligned with his commercial and personal beliefs, a renewable future for the planet. It was in his very first public mission statement, published on the 2nd of August 2006. He stated, and I quote, "This is because the overarching purpose of Tesla Motors and the reason I'm funding the company is to help expedite the move from a mine and burn hydrocarbon economy towards a solar electric economy, which I believe to be the primary but not exclusive sustainable solution." So 18 years ago, he talked not about EVs as the future, but EVs as a path towards a future solar electric economy. And to start the ball rolling, he wisely decided to make an EV without compromise. He quotes, "which is why the Roadster is designed to beat a gasoline sports car like a Porsche or Ferrari in a head-to-head showdown. Even so, some may question whether this actually does any good for the world. Are we really in need of another high-performance sports car? Will it actually make a difference to global emissions?" Well, he says, the answers are no and not much. However, that misses the point. Unless you understand the secret master plan alluded to above. That plan was not to build the best EV company, manufacturing the best EV in the world, but to help expedite the move from a mine and burn hydrocarbon economy towards a solar electric economy. Now, in my analysis, Tesla EVs are merely the first step on that road to achieving his real goal. And he's already succeeded beyond anyone's wildest dreams. Tesla EVs today are some of the best engineered and technically advanced cars on the road, ending up with the Model Y becoming the best-selling car in the world. So why on earth would he stop making EVs? We need to go back to 2006, because back then the world was definitely not ready for a mass conversion to EVs. Previous efforts were pathetic. General Motors, with the handful of EV1s, launched in 1998, and although only a mere handful were ever made, they were welcomed by enough hippie Californians to convince General Motors that they should scrap them all and crush all existing models, as they might be a threat to their real business. That was big gas guzzling V8 muscle cars. The Toyota Prius hybrid, launched a few years later, was also a big hit, also mainly in hippie green California, becoming a must-have car for anyone who cared about the planet, or more likely anyone who wanted to be seen as caring for the planet. Well, when the first generation Prius finished production in 2003, it had established itself as the world's best hybrid, and far more importantly, conclusively proved that family cars did not need to be powered by petrol or diesel alone. This was before Elon Musk even invested in Tesla. The stage had already been set. Well, for Tesla, 2012 was a key year when the first premium saloon, the Model S, was launched. And it was an instant smash hit, scored 99 out of 100 with consumer ratings, the highest score they've ever reached. But Elon was already off in a different direction. See, almost a decade earlier, he'd founded SpaceX. And his mission was, well, it was an unusual statement. He said, and again I quote, "You want to wake up in the morning and think the future's going to be great." And that's what a spacefaring civilization is all about. It's about believing in the future and thinking that the future will be better than the past. And I can't think of anything more exciting than going out there and being among the stars. End quote. Today, 22 years later, SpaceX has launched 364 rockets into space. World record. Not all made it back. 328 did come back and land, and 297 have been reused. Again, we see the rejection of the norm where NASA launched a huge rocket, which was Saturn V for Apollo 11, and it was over 364 feet tall, and all but 12 feet of it, the actual capsule, all was destroyed, abandoned in space or burnt up in the atmosphere. SpaceX's Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy and Starship, they're all totally reusable. You fire them up, you land them, you refuel them, and you send them back into space. And then in 2019, Tesla launched their Megapack company, quickly growing to become one of the top 5 grid storage companies in the world. Currently they just produced 9 gigawatts of battery capacity in Q2 2024 alone, on their way to achieving a target of 42 megapacks a week and an annual goal of 40 gigawatt hours. And with that came applications to become an energy supplier in more than a dozen countries, including UK and Australia, followed by applications to operate as a utility company, supplying power to domestic houses. Well, their Megapack website has a simple mission statement: build a cleaner grid. Well, he's consistent. 13 years later, he's still targeting his 2006 mission. Today, renewable solar and wind linked to grid storage is the cheapest energy on the planet and growing at a phenomenal pace. Oil and gas are in a terminal decline, just purely on cost alone. And when you add in the environment, the battle's over. In the UK, where we're told we don't have enough sunlight, we've got around 1.5 million private roofs covered in PV panels and 1,000 commercial solar PV farms. Plus we also have, UK, Europe's largest grid-connected storage battery at Pilswood near Hull. It's got 196 megawatt hours. So in recent years, Tesla's shifted into automation, full self-driving. Then when that reached a dead end a year or so ago, he developed Dojo, which is now one of the largest and most powerful AI computers on the planet. While that is currently dedicated to rapidly building up to his full self-drive launch in August, it's also a company unto itself and shows the direction for the future. Just look at the top 10 most valuable companies in the world today. You find Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia, Amazon, Alphabet, Meta, all have one thing in common: AI. Today is AI, and the future is even more AI. Tesla has Dojo, one of the top 5 largest, most powerful computers in the world, designed and built by Tesla. Morgan Stanley recently increased its target price for Tesla shares from $250 to $400, based entirely on their AI potential. In plain English, they rate AI alone as worth more than half what Tesla is valued at, and that's impressive. Starlink also launched in 2019. That was a busy year for Elon. Using SpaceX, he's launched over 6,000 satellites, provided near worldwide coverage, and is being adopted at a rapidly increasing pace by the likes of cruise ships, passenger aircraft, and particularly now the military, including Ukraine. It's increasingly being used in areas where traditional mobile signals are impractical or financially unviable. It's rumoured that with the completion of the first stage, Tesla will launch a mobile phone of its own with one absolutely unique feature. Doesn't need a mobile phone mast to be anywhere nearby. You can make a phone call from the centre of the Sahara Desert to someone at the North Pole and get a clear, unbroken signal. The mobile phone market is simply mind-boggling. 520 billion And all the existing companies, they can only operate in the range of a mobile phone mast. That range already decreased with the move to 5G, as those signals, they do a lot more, but they require more mass, they have shorter range. Well, Tesla running its own world mobile network, Starlink, that works anywhere on the face of the planet will be a huge achievement. Their smartphones could just wipe the field with success. We'll also look at air travel. Elon has already stated he wants to see a supersonic electric aircraft. Well, taken as a whole, my analysis is that Tesla has already achieved its primary goal of transitioning the world to a renewable solar electric economy. It's long since passed its tipping point. So in simple terms, Tesla Motors has allowed Elon Musk to achieve his primary goal set way back in 2006. There's no stopping it now. Therefore, in his mind, I'm sure some of the drive to produce Teslas is gone. Tesla Motors will continue with or without Elon, and Tesla Motors is now a cash cow or golden goose. It's just producing increasing billions of profit each year. That allows him to spend that in research and to develop companies elsewhere. Others will overtake Tesla at some time soon, but the market for Tesla will continue with or without Elon Musk, with or without competition for many years into the future. He also doesn't need the income from Tesla. Oh, it's very nice to get a pay packet of, what was it, $58 billion for his efforts? But SpaceX, Starlink, the Boring Company, Full Self-Drive AI, they have to a large extent already taken over his attention, and all are in their own right providing him with an income. And besides, his Tesla Motors management team is quite capable of continuing Tesla Motors without his daily involvement. Well, I also see the possibilities of robotaxis actually succeeding sometime in the future, maybe in the next 5 years, maybe far sooner. And as previous videos of mine have already stated, I believe they will make car ownership an inexpensive option. Currently costs around £1 a mile in the UK to own and run a car. Petrol, hybrid, EV, doesn't matter. If one day robotaxis are available immediately on demand on an app, at a half or a quarter of the price, they offer an amazingly attractive alternative. Instead of holding the wheel, feet on pedals, watching the road every minute for your 40-minute commute twice a day, wouldn't you rather just sit back and read or work or play games or just catch up on your sleep? Many people would. So where does all that leave Tesla? Well, I believe Tesla is actually at the apex of a huge transformation. Not everyone buys a new car, but everyone does need electricity, and the megapack business is potentially far larger than making cars. Tesla has to work hard to sell cars, but customers are lining up to buy his megapacks to your waiting list. No selling required. Likewise, all major manufacturing companies are pouring billions into humanoid robots. Well, as a financial model, they're a true no-brainer, and the market is capable of operating several billions if they can be made cheap enough. AI dwarfs the whole lot, and SpaceX could become as common as a taxi ride to space, the moon, and Mars. I believe Tesla's already achieved its primary 2006 mission, and others will soon overtake it as the biggest single EV manufacturer. Probably be a Chinese company, but if Ford or General Motors do get their act together, they also could easily beat Tesla. EVs will be produced into the future as long as we're buying cars. But Tesla's recently centred its focus on full self-driving and robotaxis, and it's put something of a hold on new gigafactories, one planned in Mexico. It's not going very fast. India, they've now pulled back totally from. Is this the writing on the wall for car ownership? Will robotaxi offer a true alternative to having your own car that sits outside, deteriorating, depreciating for about 80% of its time? I think they might. It's a fascinating world out there with no idea where we may end up. 20 years ago, the idea of EVs taking over from petrol was ridiculous. Today, they're real. When I was at school in the 60s, Dan Dare and Flash Gordon were pure science fiction. But when I left school, men had walked on the moon, and we might soon see a man on Mars. I don't invest much money on the stock market. I'm not a big professional investor, don't have any real experience, but I look for a bit of excitement when I invest my spare cash. I did buy some crypto a few years ago. I made a bit of money on that. I got out at the right time, selling almost all of it. The idea that you could invest £100 and get back thousands appealed to me. But I was quite happy, well, not happy, but prepared to lose that initial £100. Well, when I sold the crypto, I did keep some. And that's currently valued at £11.51. Well, there's still that chance that it could take off, it could produce thousands. I know it never will. Tesla, likewise, exciting company to invest in. Several times it could have gone bust, last time recently as 2017, but each time it came back stronger. So I'm quite happy and prepared to lose the lot, but my dream is to make enough profit to buy a new Tesla EV from my Tesla shares. For now, I'm still driving my 8-year-old Tesla Model S. Thanks very much for watching. I'm Dave. If you have liked it, please click the like button. If you enjoy the videos, would like to see more, please subscribe and click the bell notification icon so we notify you as we launch new videos. And a massive thank you to our Patreon supporters. Without you, most of this wouldn't be possible. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. I'm Dave.